Hello, this is Kerry Humans. I'm taking a break from my audition scheduling because my package arrived. This isn't any ordinary package. This is my personal holy grail of train sets. So the story behind it, my very first American Flyer train set was one I bought from my mom's friend's son back in 1972. And I carried it around with me and played with it a little bit, although I was told at the time when I bought it, it didn't run very well. And that was true, it didn't run very well. But I really liked it and I carried it around with me for 30 or 40 years. And then in about 2005, I was curious to see if there's any way I could get that old train running again. And in my research into all that, I discovered that the set that I had purchased was a 1954 Trailblazer passenger set. And as I descended into the madness of toy trains, I discovered and decided that it would be really, really fun to have the matching passenger Trailblazer set from 1954. And now here in the 60th year of my birth, and my 60th birthday coming up, and as part of what I'm calling the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, I've splurged and bought my holy grail of train sets, the 1954 Trailblazer passenger set. So this is the unboxing of my holy grail. So we begin with boring tape cutting. Anything you'd like to add, dear? You're just going to stand there and chew on your almonds, is that it? Okay. Oh, very nicely packed from the eBay seller that I purchased it from. Try and keep this out of the way and out of the camera shot. Where to begin? Okay, so here is the locomotive and tender wrapped up in this single. He did detach them, and I had emailed him about it and clarified it was easier to ship them this way, which is certainly true, and all I have to do is reconnect the tender to the locomotive. Still, really, there's nothing you want to say to viewers? Anything you want to say to me? There was a facial expression and some attitude behind it. Well, I'm glad this is very nicely packed and wrapped. So what characterizes a 1954 passenger, set from the 1953, if you look at the Duke catalogs from 1953 and 54, they are essentially the same offerings. And at that time frame in the American Flyer catalog, most, if not all, of the train sets they offered came in a freight version and a passenger version. So there was a Trailblazer freight set, which is the one that I first purchased, and then the accompanying, or sort of what I call the sibling set, passenger version. That was true of all of them, or all of them, I think. So the difference between 53 and 54 really comes down to very, very persnickety details, and specifically also I've uncovered. So here is the tender of the train sets, all disconnected. So this is the typical 4-prong plug, and then this year they had the 5th wire as well, so those will both need to be connected into the back of the locomotive. Really nice cosmetic shape. We'll get it close there. Has both of its pickup feet on the bottom of the chassis there. So it's a very nice piece. And the locomotive is the number 316 K4 Class Pacific locomotive. And the only distinction between the 53 version and the 54 version was the wire used on the binding of the armature. And the 1954 armatures, A, were purple wiring, and B, they were very frequently poor quality. They just didn't work well. And that was the problem with my 316, as finally diagnosed by Steve Blackburn of S&S Trains in Boise, Idaho. And he identified that the binding wire was purple, and we checked the resistance between the commutators, and they were not consistent. They varied in resistance, so swapped out the armature on that one, and my current 316 runs like a charm, and we'll see what the case is here. So do we have purple wire binding, or has this armature been replaced already? And the answer is purple. So we're going to have to see how this runs, and then if it has the same problem, if it's one of the bad purple wire binding armatures, we'll have to replace it. But this is a nice specimen, really nice cosmetic. Has both of the Pullmore wheels on it still, Pullmore tires, I should say. Nicely constructed, well held together. Still has red glowing smokestack inserted. Really nice finish. That was the chair that I've been sitting on that just fell. So anyway, really still nice finish on the paint job on this. Put this here. And now for the cars that come with it. So the freight set, the freight version of the set, came with an action car, and that's the auto unloading car. You press a button, the red platform swings out, and it tips, and the car rolls off. And the action car with the passenger set was the mail baggage pickup car. I don't know if that's what I'm opening now or something else. So we'll see what's what here. Really well packed. So glad for that. Honey, are you sure there's nothing you want to say to the viewers? I will not describe the response I just received. And first vehicle is, first car is, the 952 heavyweight passenger. So, very beautiful specimen. Again, nice finish, good quality printing. Those little squeaks, those are my joints. I'm getting so old that I need frequent lubrication, and I'm a little bit low today. Really, nothing you want to add is an expression like that. I have a feeling this is another heavyweight passenger car. Yes, this will be the 953 combination car. I believe that's the number, 953. Yes, 953, combination car, heavyweight. So combination being that it has a portion that is for passengers and then freight or mail or baggage area. So combination of the two functions. I have a suspicion, given how well it's wrapped, this may be the 954 observation car, which means it has a platform on the back. So the platform on the back, so in the good old days, passengers could go out and stand in the back of the train and watch the scenery off the back. Sticker is okay. Yeah, it's very typical to see some wearing on the sticker that way. But again, very beautiful finish on this car. Good clean printing of the lettering. I've always wondered, you'll notice the railing at the back looks just a little bit saggy. I've always wondered why that is, and I'm going to see if I can do something to sort of even that up and tighten it up. It's just always, they've always looked droopy. Oh, one slight little. I did not notice these. It's a slight chipping of the steps on the very end of this car. So, not going to ask my money back. That's not a deal breaker. No, I'm not going to. And finally, here will be the male pickup action car that came with the passenger set. Just so grateful that it's so well packed for shipping across the country. So yeah, so here's the male pickup action car. So number 918. So if you look at the opening, there's this little, what would you call it, hook arm, that when activated it comes out and it throws the baggage, the mail bag that's in it already, and then scoops and picks up the mail bag on the post as it goes by. Those were not included in this sale. I have to buy those separately in the future, but anyway, there is that action pickup. Quit looking so excited, my goodness. Really, he does want to play with them. He just will never admit it. Ah, I see now how that works. So then there's a big wall on the, so the scooped mail bag just sits on the floor. Again, I will not describe what my husband was doing. So the mail bag sits on the floor of the car. As this swings out, there's a whole wall here that will push the one mail bag out and then scoop the new mail bag in. So you can see that wall there, hopefully. So anyway, there is my 1954 Trailblazer passenger set, engine number 316. The 316 indicates that it has literally all the bells and whistles, well, no bells, but 316 or any of the engines ending in the digit 6 have both the red glowing smoke and the pull more and the built-in whistle in the tenor, although it's not a whistle, it's the speaker that picks up the DC current, a signal that's sent from the whistle element. And
the Tupperware.
What?
Move the Tupperware.
Move the Tupperware. Oh, I have to move the Tupperware. So, anyway, so yeah, there'll be a speaker inside this that picks up the DC signal that's sent out by the whistle unit, which sounds variously like a dead dying frog croaking or just a buzzy bassoon reed, depending on the quality that you get. So that is the end of my presentation. Hopefully you found it mildly interesting. I thought it was something worth documenting, again, this being the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. So thank you for watching. You have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to go back to scheduling auditions now. Bye-bye.